Hello and welcome. I am Arumba. Thank you for joining me. So I'm going to start a new series in Skyrim, and I have not actually really truly played Skyrim. It came out about 2 years ago, and I bought the game. I loved Morrowind. I played Daggerfall. I played some Oblivion, but I really didn't like the leveling system in Oblivion too much. I preferred the Morrowind style of it, really, but I basically got into Skyrim and got to the first main city, stole all of the cheese wheels and cabbages, and then pickpocketed and murdered a few people. And then I kind of lost interest. I remember I think the farthest I got was I actually learned Fus Roda, and that's about it. So I am not by any means an expert. This is basically a blind playthrough. But before we do that, I wanted to do kind of an introductory type video where we talk about what I just said, and then also cover two main topics. One, we're going to cover character creation, and then two, we're going to talk about the mods that I'm going to be using, and then we'll be able to dive right into the gameplay in episode 1. So first things first, let's talk about the mods. So I love modding. You probably know that I'm a user interface buff when it comes to like Crusader Kings 2 and a bunch of other stuff. So I have quite a few mods installed. There's a lot. There's a lot of them. I don't even know how to count it. There's 19 there, 6 there, 16, 13, 8, 5, 3, 4, like lots of them. So one thing I liked is automatic creature texture variants. So I installed a lot of various texture packs and enabled pretty much all of them. We might run across some things that are a little bit strange, which I might have to go in and fix at some point, like pink mammoths and stuff like that. But I like creatures that aren't all the same. I don't want to have a whole bunch of skeevers or wolves or something come at me and have them all be identical. So we have automatic creature texture variants. They'll all look different. I have a whole bunch of convenience mods like automatic unequip ammo. Auto unequip ammo. So what this one does is if you have a bow equipped and you have no arrows, it'll unequip the bow. If you have a bow equipped and you do have arrows, it'll equip the arrows. So it just kind of manages some of that for you. Better dialogue controls and better message box controls just makes it so the game doesn't act funny. Got convenient horses, which gives you like saddle packs, and your horse will no longer like try to fight dragons. I haven't really experienced it much. I don't think I've ever really used a horse. But from what I've read, it's supposed to be important. Whole bunch of immersion mods. I've got Cloaks of Skyrim, footprint mod, leaves footprints in snow and ash and stuff like that. We're going to be using Frostfall, which makes the game very a lot more realistic. Like what Frostfall does is you cannot underestimate it. It makes it so that your character gets hot and cold and wet, and if you freeze to death, you die. And like it's realistic. So I really like realism in RPGs. Inconsequential NPCs makes it so that there are not just every single character in every single city is willing to talk to you. Just random people that will just tell you to buzz off, basically. Player head tracking makes it so that if you go to third-party mode that you can actually, you'll look at characters as they talk to you, which is really cool for immersion. Populated cities, towns, villages, and roads. It doesn't say it here, but it is also roads. It just makes it so there's more people. I have a fairly powerful gaming PC, so I'm really not worried about not having the processing power or the graphics power to handle it. So lots of characters, good stuff like that. Realistic needs and diseases is going to make it so that we have to eat, we have to drink. Diseases have levels, they can progress if you don't treat them, that kind of thing. Run for your lives makes it so that NPCs won't go fight dragons. They should run from dragons. Splash of rain makes it so that rain, when it falls on the ground, you see little splashes when it hits the ground. Again, this is the immersion category, so these things just make you feel like it's real. Wet and cold makes it so that, it kind of works hand in hand with Frostfall, really. Wet and cold makes it so that when you go in the water, you'll have like water fall from you, like your character will look wet. Characters in the world will like equip cloaks if it's raining. You can enable things like umbrellas, but I'm not going to do that. One mod that I could not get to work hand in hand with these other ones was WIC, which stands for Winter is Coming cloaks. This is where it adds like the cloaks that you'd see in Game of Thrones and that kind of thing. Quite a few texture, mesh graphics, lighting type mods. So we're using a lot of enhanced lighting. I'm using the Skyrim HD texture pack, the light version. So these are 2K resolution. 4K didn't really make much of a difference. Plus I'm playing on 1080p, so you can't see 4K anyway. Static mesh improvement mod makes it so that all the character models and like items in the game look better. So like ropes and chains and just goblets and fruit and everything looks better. We're using URWL, which is another lighting mod, makes the game much darker. It's hard to see at night, which makes sense because it's dark outside. Using the water mod, which makes water look much better. Then we've got IA, which is just I can't remember off the top of my head what it stands for, but it's lots of armors. There's a whole bunch of new armors. It's a big mod. Improved dragon shouts just makes it so that the dragon shouts are a little bit more balanced. They're all kind of useful instead of just, you know, a couple of them. Fusroda. Overlays, plugin, I don't even know what that is, but it's important. Race menu just gives you more character creation, selection type stuff. I don't know what this one does. Community Uncapper is kind of supposed to go hand in hand, I think, with Skyrim Redone. You need to have it unlocked. So this raises the level cap from 100, so you can actually go up unlimited. So your character doesn't stop leveling. I don't even know what that one does, but I had quite a bit of help from people while I was streaming the first few days, and so a couple of these mods they just gave to me, and I just trust people. So I have the unofficial patches, which just need to be there because the game needs them. I have another unused water mod, Pure Waters. I was checking it out, but didn't decide to use that one. And finally, for the user interface, we have Quality World Map. We have the high-res meshes for the map. We have the immersive HUD, so it tries to not break immersion with constant, like, your compass always being up and crosshairs. And I got rid of the detected, like the sneak interface thing. I just think it's silly. You know how you want to know when they can see you is when they come running at you and they try to kill you. And then we've got the Sky UI, which just improves the overall interface when it comes to like inventory and stuff like that. I also did I used Boss to make sure everything runs properly, and I cleaned the master files with whatever that one program is called that you need. And so the game works great. I'm going to go ahead and fire it up, and we're going to go through the character creation process now, trying to make Fredegar. So let's just dive in, and I might have to do a little bit of alt-tabbing to get this work. I'm using software I don't normally use. Nope, actually it looks like it's running just fine. Perfect. So we're going to continue from my last save, which is right before character creation.
Ulfric Stormcloak, Jarl of Windhelm.
It has been an honor, Jarl Ulfric.
Ralof of Riverwood.
So we'll talk about it more when we get into the actual game, but you can, if you compare it to default Skyrim, it looks so much better. Recently I was able to fix the shadows so they don't twitch as much and look as blocky. They look really good now.
Step forward.
So yeah.
Who are you?
And actually with the software that I'm using, you might not be able to tell in this video, but when I record the actual series with Fraps, it'll pick up every single frame, and it'll be in full 1080p, so it should look good. So we're going to try to make, I was trying to think like which character would make the most sense. A Redguard could make sense for our hero, Fredegar. On the other hand, an Imperial could be interesting to me. I can't recall where you actually see their racial things. Can you not see it on the character creation screen? Maybe with this mod? Shift allows you to zoom out. Yeah. So, well, our character, Fredegar, is going to be a fighter. He's clearly not an Argonian, as much as I'd like to maybe try an Argonian at some point. He's not a spellcaster, so we're not going to do Breton. I think our choices really would be Imperial, Nord, Redguard. Can't play as an Orc. Fredegar is not an Orc. Now I know Redguards are very good at combat. They've got like that Adrenaline Rush, I think it was called, if I'm not mistaken. Nords are very good in Frost, which is just a very fitting class, I think. And then Imperials, don't they have that voice thing? I'm really torn between Nord and Redguard for this first character. When I think back about our character, Fredegar, if you've watched the Lux Invicta playthrough, that's who this character is designed to be mimicking. Fredegar was a fearless fighter. He was amazing in combat. And his son, he had a couple sons, and they would go and they would just slaughter people, absolutely dominate them. He had like almost 40 martial score. He was really, really powerful. So I'm thinking probably Redguard is just the way we have to go. On the other hand, you know, he was from the middle of Europe. Not really the north, which would make me think more like a Nord. Okay, yeah, so Redguard it is, I guess. This guy, I really don't like the way he looks, though. So we need to change that. Maybe check out some of the presets first. If I see anybody that just jumps out and looks like Fredegar. I may take a while on this, so this is just the character creation video. There will be no gameplay in this. So if you like character creation, then stick around. Otherwise, you might want to skip to episode 1, where we actually play. I kind of like the way he looks as a template. The multicolored eyes thing is cool, but it doesn't really fit Fredegar. How can you have -1 dirt? That doesn't make sense to me. Well, clearly, he should have some scars because he is Fredegar. He's been in battle. A little bit of war paint. Well, his faith, he was not a Catholic, he was not a Christian, he was... Sure, we'll go with that one. As far as the color goes... I like that. His hair. Now, Fredegar had a big old beard. Big old beard. He was a beautiful man. Not an afro. Yeah, I think we're looking at something like this. Yep, that's the one. And we gotta mess with the beard now. Facial hair. He was not a man with a light beard. Oh, look at that scar. That thing is really pronounced. But he had a full-on beard. So I think we are looking at like this thing, actually. Yes, that's the beard. Hair color. No. That's not right. None of this is right. I think the first color was fine. Not gray. He was not very old for most of the playthrough. Okay, eye shape, eye color. Well, we do want to change the eye color because I don't want him to have 2 eyes that are the same color. It looks cool, but blue eyes, penetrating eyes. That looks creepy as hell. Bloodshot eyes. Bloodshot from lack of sleep, perhaps? Because he's so busy at war? Maybe we do change the scar. Since I know that beard's covering up most of it. That looks better, I think. Not too worried about the eye depth and stuff. I'm not very good at making people that look realistic, so if I mess with that, it'll end up looking terrible. Brow height. See, I don't even want to try. I just know I'll do it wrong. Height. Head. I was playing around with this on the stream, and I made like a character with a tiny head and all that stuff, but I actually just want to keep him normal height. Maybe just a tiny bit big, like just a little bit. He's a warrior. Now let's just keep him normal size. No, we gotta keep him just... No, not that tall. Holy smokes. Let's just go with like 1.02, 3. He's just a little bit bigger than your average guy. And I do want to make him just have a tiny little bit bigger biceps and just make him look a little bit stronger than your average character. Maybe 105. Just would be a little bit bigger. Maybe we can go maybe as high as like 1.1. Gotta be realistic here. He's just a combat dude, that's all. And then maybe 1.0. 1 on this one as well. Does that look too big? Does that look realistic? Reasonable? Can I turn you? Can you show me your arms? That's a big old arm. Yeah, that looks pretty good actually. A little bit too big, I think, for his forearms actually. If you had an arm like that, your forearm would be bigger. Is there a way to adjust the forearm? No, it doesn't look like it. Let's play with this one first because I can see it better. Yeah, I'm gonna go down to 105. I don't want it to look ridiculous. And to me, those are actually still pretty darn big. I mean, he's got the tricep thing, you know, he's big dude. Weapon scale, we'll just keep him normal size. I don't want to mess with that stuff. What do these do? I'm not really sure what those even do. Okay, but this guy looks like Fredegar to me. Pretty good. He's a little... No, he's too dark. Is he? No, he looks okay. I think this is our guy. I think this is Fredegar. He looks like a young man, though. Where can we control his age? He should look older. Height, weight, head. Age. Is age just a matter of... This appears to be all the settings. I guess his apparent age is just a matter of how you mess with the complexion and stuff. It's way too complicated for me to mess with. So I guess he's just going to have to be Fredegar when he was a young man. So, okay. So we're going to go done. Finish a name. His name is Fredegar. Accept.
What are you doing here, Redguard? You a sellsword?
And we're going to now save the game. New save.
A sailor from Storm.
And
Mackay.
really all I want to do now at this point, I want to leave the rest of this for the actual playthrough, but I want to turn on all my mods now that we've actually got the game going. I think Convenient Horses is running automatically. Frostfall I know you have to enable. So let's start Frostfall up.
Captain, what should we do? He's on the list.
The immersive HUD, I know I've got to mess with a couple of the settings, like options. We want to disable the stealth indicator, disable enemy health bars. I want to make the compass a little bit less apparent. I want the crosshair to be very visible. And then I want these to be turned down a bit too. Okay, and then realistic needs I think is on by default. Yep, looks like everything's fine there. Sky UI. I think everything looks pretty good. Font size medium is fine with me. I still don't really know how to make grouped armor and stuff very well, but we'll figure that out as we go along. Splash of rain is on. I don't think I need to change anything there. And then wet and cold. Player drips wet, drip, effect play during rain after swimming. Yeah, we want that on. Steam, yes. Rain blind, full. Steam, yes. Workers ignore rain. No Argonians will wear rain. We don't want umbrellas. We do want breath when you're breathing. outside. I like that a lot. I don't want watery eyes from Ash. Heat detection, okay. Okay, and then let's just save the game one more time. Save over it. And this game is ready to play. So, okay, I'm going to take a break here, and in the next video we will probably boot up the game and let it go through the intro thing, and then I'll just load this save. After, so the character creation we can skip. So, thank you for watching. This is, again, just the preliminary video, and I look forward to seeing you in episode number 1. See you again soon.